Hi, goats. Oh, good. Here we are. Speaking of goats, we're adjusting the camera. Okay. Hi. The answer is blue. That's what color my hands are. I was wearing gloves, but sometimes the dye just wants to get on you. So yeah, I was dyeing yarn this afternoon, which was fun. Oh, and I also brought this. The other answer is Lost Souls. So I've been doing a lot on it the last few days, so I'm in that phase where it's really exciting and it feels like I'm getting close to the end, at least of this skein. Anyway, oh right, I'm going this way. Almost done with this row. Okay. So let me know how you are and what you're working on, and or drinking. Sorry, I got stuck on a word and I'm like, but yeah, stuttering. Hi, Amaris. Good to have you here, and that you're well rested. I'm good. I was kind of tired this morning, but I even though dyeing yarn is a lot of work, it kind of gives me energy, I guess, because it's a creative thing. Oh, I was thinking I could tell folks about the colorways I was working on today. So I dyed 10 skeins, which is probably more than I want to do at one time at this point, because it was a lot. And I realized I can't really do 10 in wildly different colors. I was going to practice the red and black colorway and do some more of those, but by the time I had dyed 7 other skeins, I was like, I'm really tired and I need to just focus on what I have. So I just did 3 random skeins to kind of use up the dye that I had so far, and those came out cool. I'm glad I was able to expand my collection of one-off skeins and just like experiment and see what works. But the first 4 that I did was practicing and trying to kind of recreate the same blue ones that I did earlier, with the deep and then the light ends. And it was a bit difficult because I had to remind myself how I did that. Like I mostly know, but I was like, wait, how did I get the extremely light end? And it's just like a very small amount of dye is how I did it. not so much the color, just like there's not very much of it on the yarn. And I realized I really need a way to label the, like, if I have dye left over from a session, I need to label it, because it all looks the same, just like blue and black dyes of any shade. It doesn't matter if it's a light blue or a dark blue. It just looks, it looks the same when it's in the tiny white box thing that the Tupperware box things that I keep my spare dye in, like when it's not in the actual jars with the powder. So, but yeah, then the middle 3 skeins, I was trying to start on a colorway that is kind of space themed. It's going to be called First Star, but I realized it, at least with the colors I have, it looks a lot like the blue. So I was like, okay, so how can I make this look like a different colorway? And so I added in some of my light green color, which is the only green I have at the moment. But I was like, well, now it looks more oceany, so maybe I'll just switch to making this more of an ocean-themed color. So there's one I have in mind that's going to be called Lover of the Sea. So that's also a reference to a couple of my gods in my pagan practice. So yeah, that one came out cool. I used a lot more actual black dye in that one, so black, blue, and then some light green. So we'll see how that turns out. Then for the final 3, I was just like, okay, I don't want to have a bunch of tiny pots of dye that I don't know what they that I'm not really sure what they are, and so I'm just going to use them now. And so I took 2 of them for each skein. I had 3 skeins and 6 leftover dye pots, so just like pew, pew, pew. So one of them came out like all blue and green and looked like kind of mermaid, so I actually came up with a really cool name for that color, because I was trying to think of something with like mermaid mother or ancestor, but then I thought of this really cool pun, the maid, like UR dash, like the original. So maid is going to be that color. So yeah. It's out there for a couple of hours, but it also takes me a surprising, like, less time than I would think it does. So like, I was worried that I would be late for this, but I actually got done in time to shower and eat. So I know that people have enjoyed oh hey, someone subscribed, thank you. I know that people have been excited about the red and black, so I'm looking forward to doing more of that too. But I think I'm going to have to wait and like do some colorways that all take the same dyes, or like if I have some dye mixed up, I have to do some that I have to limit my number of colors that I'm actively working with in one session, because otherwise it's just a lot. I do want to get more syringes though. I have these giant syringes that I bought to help me squirt dye into the yarn. They're very helpful, but I only have 3, so if I want to work with more colors, then I have to like kind of waste a lot of dye when I'm trying to clean them out. So I'm planning to go to the dollar store soon and see if they have them. I love how this is turning out. It's my housemate's poncho, and yesterday I asked her if she wanted me to keep adding skulls on the sides or just stop and go up, because I was thinking if we keep adding them, then like her arms won't really come out of the sides by the time, like this is going to get even wider if we don't stop adding skulls. So it did turn out that it was a good width. So for now, I'm just gonna finish this skein and keep going up. At some point, I'm going to have to make sure that I know how to do the last repeat. I'll have to look that up, but like, I know that at some point you just have to stop adding new skulls. So you can actually do the border of the pattern. I'm looking forward to Sunday, because I should have my recent batch of yarn washed and dried by then, so I can show you my new yarn. That's fun. But for right now, since my yarn is still in the kind of marinating phase, where it just sits in the gallon Ziploc bags. It's just kind of a chill live where we just hang out and crochet. I just sipped my Death Wish coffee. if y'all have anything that you want, that like questions or that you want to talk about, feel free to put it in the chat or in the comments if you happen to be watching this afterward. As far as I can tell, I don't see any questions in chat yet, so I'm just gonna, chat and for the time being. I wonder if this will show up on camera. It's my incense that's currently going. Oh yeah, it does. This one is Fairy Dreams. So it's kind of funny. I can't really do the horror genre, but I absolutely love documentaries and stories about disasters that actually happened, and the stories of survivors and first responders and things like that. And of course, some folks find that too intense, which makes perfect sense. But it's kind of nice to know that, like, it's not just that I can't handle horror, it's that I have a different set of things that I can and can't deal with, kind of. But I'm just like, oh yes, tell me more about how they escaped from the horrible fire or something like that. So I've been watching a lot of that type of thing lately while crocheting and stuff, so I'm just like sitting here with my yarn and watching these like massive traumas unfold on screen, like, yes. We all have different interests. One of them was about a massive fire that happened in the city I live in now, but it was when I was one year old. So I was wondering if it was going to be like too close to home, but it was fine. I was just it just felt like, oh, I'm learning more about the city that I live in and the history this place has had. Which, as you may know, is Oakland, California. So yeah, there are definitely occasionally fires here. I always accidentally get do 3, like the chain 3 instead of the chain 2. when it's at this part of the pattern, because every other time it's chain 3. But yeah, there's I think my absolute favorite disaster rescue type of series that I wish there were way more of is I think it's called Helicopter Rescue, and it's about the paramedic team that works on Mont Blanc. I don't think I said that correctly, but Mont Blanc. Mont Blanc, the mountain that it's a mountain, but also a resort or park type of thing that is between Italy and France, and this one focuses on the French team with subtitles and stuff. And there are 2 different teams: the gendarmerie, something like that, and the security civile. There are 2 different teams that kind of take turns with doing the rescues, and it's like hair-raising to see them having to rescue people from the side of mountains, and like there's a constant risk of avalanche, and the ice and snow will do different things, and a lot of times that they have to winch down like from the helicopter with this rope. So but it's kind of heartwarming because they're so concerned about the people that they're helping, and even if that person doesn't speak French, then they many of the people working speak some English, or at least someone on the team does, even if it's not as comfortable as they are in French. But it's like they make sure that they get across that language barrier and help that person. So it's just weirdly heartwarming. So I also started looking for similar shows, and one of them is a helicopter rescue show set in Yorkshire in Britain, and it basically they go around. You kind of follow the team as they help out with several different rescues, and then you find out what happened to the patient afterwards. Just kind of a follow-up, because the part of the story you're seeing is from the time when the team gets called there till they get them to the hospital, and that's then you're off to the next call. So it can feel a bit choppy. No pun intended. Although we are in a chopper. I mean most of the action takes place in a chopper, but yeah. But one of my favorite lines that one of the episodes ended on was telling about this one person who had an accident while riding a bike out on the moors, and they were like, he's he's out there bicycling again, but he's now wary of moorland sheep, because that was how he crashed last time. And then it cuts to this flock of sheep, and they just kind of ominously baa. Meh. He's now wary of moorland sheep. Meh. So that's my favorite thing about that show. But apparently there's a lot of different content about that type of thing, like disaster, aftermath, and rescue type of thing. And it's always nice to, like, when you fall into a new special interest hyper-focus, which this essentially is for me right now, it's nice to realize that there's a lot of content for it, because sometimes I'm like, why did I have to suddenly become intensely interested in this thing, and there's only one documentary on it ever. But yeah, it's kind of how I feel with the one of my longest running special interests, which is the end Permian extinction. It's one of the mass extinctions we've had in our past, in the past history of Earth, and it's the worst one. And I think I became interested in it because you never hear about it. Like, you hear about the dinosaurs, but not really about the other times when life has, like, the majority of life has ended. So okay, good. So yeah, if you're just tuning in, I am working on my Lost Souls poncho, which I'm making for my roommates. And this is going to be either the front or back, and we will sew up the top edge with the hole for her head. And if you're wondering about the title, the answer is blue. I was dyeing yarn, and yeah. Oh no. If he presses his luck, he'll be on the sofa again. Well, I hope that your husband does not press his luck then. So exciting to take to get to the point where I can take my yarn that I dyed yesterday, which is today. Oh, oops. So glad I caught that before this. But this got some ash on it from my incense, but I think it's fine otherwise. But yeah. Oh, he's trying to be spicy. Oh no. But yeah, I can't wait till tomorrow when I can take my yarn and give it just like a rinse to get most of the dye out, and then put it in the wash bags and send it through the wash to actually get properly rinsed. And I have this special dye detergent which is made to catch the stray flakes of dye on a thing that you just dyed, to keep the color bright and stop it from bleeding or anything like that. So yeah, it's so fun to see like what it actually looks like when it's done, because you can sort of guess what it looks like when you're actually dyeing it, but it doesn't always look like it did in the pan. So yeah. You can guess where my gloves stopped. Actually, it's weird because like I guess they probably stopped here, but like I feel like my gloves that my dish gloves that I wear stopped here, but maybe it just got in, some dye got in here. So it's weird how good plant fiber dye is at dyeing my skin, because I am not a plant. But oh well. I feel like that cat meme in the courtroom, where that guy couldn't turn off the cat filter. Like, Your Honor, I'm not a plant. Even though this the plant fiber dye apparently can dye my skin, at least temporarily. Time for coffee. Death wish, as the mug says. Oh, good. Had to stop wearing your wedding ring because it was cutting off circulation, so it's on your chain with your locket around your neck. Pregnant life sucks. Yeah, I'm sure there are lots of challenges. I'm glad that you can at least keep your ring on you. I actually have to take this off when I dye my yarn, which is what I consider my my wedding ring, because I can't wear it with gloves on, because it will cut through them because of the antlers. So but I do have a pocket in the apron that I wear, so I just put it there. But it feels weird to not have it on my hand, so I'm not sure if you also have that. Where you're like, wait, where is it? Oh, right. Because most of the time I have it on my hand. Oh right, the other thing that happened while I was dyeing yarn was the grill, I think, ran out of propane. That's where I heat up the water to um, dissolve the soda ash in. The nice thing is that I don't need to have the water stay hot during the dyeing process. It just helps to have it warmer to put the ash in, and then I turn it off while I soak the yarn. But I was like, okay, well that's first. I couldn't dye my yarn outside because it was raining, and then because it was too windy yesterday, and now the propane has run out. I don't care. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. But I have to ask my housemate if he can show me how to change it, or like check that that's actually what happened. But thankfully there was only like the water was almost as hot as I wanted it to be. So I just went inside and boiled some water in the kettle and poured that in. Oh no, the sun is sinking enough that she's below the window shade now, so I have to shade the window more. Or we could do that. Okay. I'm not sure what the rules are for when it springs up, and I wish I knew how to get it to spring up when I am actually trying to raise the window shade. I'm not really sure how how that particular kind of window shade works. But yeah. Now we don't have the sun in my eyes. Right, I'm still on the chain 2 section. This morning I finally got to the first color change to gold in this, so we are officially past the pink and we just have orange and gold, which means we are getting close, even though we still have this much. I'm sure I'll have some left over for because I have to kind of judge when I only have enough for one more skull, but not any after that. So I'm sure that will be sometime in the completely yellow color change. But aside from like the ending motif and how to actually end the shawl so that you're not just adding skulls forever. Aside from that, I pretty much know this pattern by heart, at least at the moment, so that's cool, because it means I can just kind of zone out while I watch something. But it's also not like there's just enough interest that I'm still engaged, because I find that if the pattern's too simple, then my brain's just like, ugh, no, I can't do this. So it has to be a balance. But I am looking forward to being able to give this to my housemates. Although that will be like, I'm not sure when, because I haven't even finished the first one of these, but still, it feels like I'm actually making progress, which is nice. Well, I think I'm gonna end it here for right now, but thanks for being here. I'm excited to show you on Sunday. Hopefully I'll have my current batch of yarn all like washed and dried by then, so come back and check that out. So yeah, have a good night. Goat. It's time to goat. Goat. Goat bye.